Peace, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing? Hopefully y'all are having a good day. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and you get notified. Also, if you're already a part of the crew, salute. But today we're going to be talking about the Redmi Note 9 Pro on the right and the Oukitel C21 on my left. Now first, let's talk about the overall build quality of both phones. We do have a material on the back of here which actually feels like Gorilla Glass on the back of the Redmi. So I believe that's Gorilla Glass on the front and back of the Redmi Note 9 Pro. You're also getting side-mounted fingerprint sensor on the Redmi Note 9 Pro, volume rocker right above it. I really do like this placement. You could also press this button and it is a fingerprint sensor and a power button, doubling. You do get Type-C charging on here. Now on the Oukitel, you have your fingerprint sensor right beneath the quad camera setup arrangement with a flash on top right corner. Your power button and volume rocker, all plastic design, no Gorilla Glass protection on this device, just your standard glass screen, but it hasn't scratched, so I must say it's actually pretty strong and durable for the price. Type-C charging, single firing speaker on both devices down below, but we do get the headphone jack on the Redmi Note 9 Pro, and we do not have that on board for the Oukitel C21. So a lot of people do like to listen to music and audios with the headphone jack, so you don't have that on the Oukitel C21, so just keep that in mind. But you can pair the Bluetooth to these devices as well. So let's talk about the overall, like performance when it comes to the displays and how the we'll get into the cameras and everything and the gaming performance as well. Now, as far as the batteries go, we're getting a 5020 milliamp hour battery on the Redmi Note 9 Pro, and we are getting a 4000 milliamp hour battery on the Oukitel. So let me do a quick boot test to see which one will turn on faster. So the power button is right here and here, 1, 2, and 3. So the Redmi actually showed animation first. Let's see which one will actually turn on display. And as you can see, the Redmi is a little bit taller than the Oukitel when it comes to the display. When it comes to this is a 20:9 aspect ratio, and this is a 19:5:9, a little bit wider. The Oukitel did come on first right here on the left. So, the Oukitel did come on much quicker on the left. It's asking me to enter my password right now. You can see the MIUI animation on the Redmi, and the Redmi just came on right now. So it did take a little bit longer to actually boot on, but as you can see, both displays look absolutely beautiful. They are full HD plus displays, and we'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but both of these devices are relatively brand new. So in March 2020, we did get the release of the Redmi Note 9 Pro. I'm getting a reminder on my phone telling me to work out. And then it says right here that we have the August 2020 release for the Oukitel. So this came out summer of 2020. Still really new devices, both running Android 10 as well. We're gonna get into that later. But when it comes to the weight of these devices, that's the first thing you're gonna notice, that the weight on the Redmi has a 209 gram weight, which is really substantial. The Oukitel is much lighter. It's 170 grams of weight. Still feels good in the hand. Both actually feel really good in the hand when you're holding them. So you can see the punch hole cut out top notch on the Redmi. I'm sorry, on the Oukitel. But when we look at the Redmi on the right, you can see that we do have a hole punch on the top of that one. So I want to get a lighter wallpaper so we can actually see that one, put it on the home screen. And I do like the theme store that Redmi offers, but that punch hole looks absolutely gorgeous when looking at it. Let's turn up both displays. You can see we do have the animations for notifications on the left. If you swipe down on the right, you have your control panel. Let's swipe down here. You get everything all in one on this device. When it comes to the brightness of the devices, they both look really bright. For some reason, the blacks are much darker on the Oukitel. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because the light is shining down. But overall, both displays look absolutely gorgeous. I'm really shocked how good the Aukitel's display looks when you put it up side to side with the Redmi. So let's talk about the displays a little bit more detail. 395 pixels per inch on the Redmi and 398 on the Oukitel. So 3 more pixels, both high density displays with punch hole cutouts, just in different placements. They both do house really high quality cameras at 32. Well, not the 32, but on the Oukitel for the front facing camera, it's going to house a 20 megapixel camera, and you're going to get a 16 megapixel on the Redmi's front facing camera. So they're both really nice when it comes to the overall, you know, design and things of that nature. So I definitely can say that the displays are built really nicely. Now, the main thing that's better about the Redmi is it does have Gorilla Glass 5 protection, whereas the Oukitel, there is a 2.5 curved glass with no Gorilla Glass protection in it. So I haven't seen any scratches on here, but they're both really good when it comes to performance, things of that nature. You're gonna have a good time, you know, with both phones. You know, the scrolling speeds on here are really nice. When I want to get to my photos, I downloaded the gallery right here, Gomo Zone, and you can get to all your pictures on here. This phone takes really good pictures. It does feature a really nice camera. This is the macro camera right here, taking some close-ups. So the performance of this device I want to get into right now, and then we'll get into the cameras. But you know, overall, if you were to browse social media, you know, Facebook, overall on this device, it's really smooth performance. You could do your shopping, everything of that nature. It does have a really nice scrolling speed. Speakers are pretty decent. They do sound a little bit tinny and muffled on there. So a little bit muffled. On the Redmi Note 9 Pro, it's absolutely gorgeous on this display. The colors are vivid, colors are bright. Super good scrolling speeds on this device. It flows really nicely. So let's talk about the chips that both of these devices have on them. So when it comes to the processing chip that we're getting, it's the Snapdragon 720G on the Redmi Note 9 Pro, and it's going to be really good for gaming, guys. So whether you're just doing some light gaming or heavy gaming or anything of that nature, you could see that this device, it has a really nice speaker. It gets pretty loud. If you were to just go into the quick game right here, it's going to give you some really good performance with the Snapdragon 720G with an Adreno 618, 6 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes or 128, depending on the model you choose. This device also does have a gyroscope sensor on board. So I think that's really cool that you get that option. You know, it's a really good device, and the budget price point for many people who don't want to spend a lot of money for, you know, a really expensive device. You can use the Redmi Note 9 Pro, and I think it's going to be a good performer. You could also play Fortnite on here, Call of Duty, PUBG, Asphalt 9, Gear Club 2K, games of that you know, nature. So I definitely like this game when it comes to the overall, you know, performance of it. It's really smooth, and the screen looks absolutely beautiful. No lags, no headaches, no hiccups. It's just going to be a really smooth performance. Alright guys, so the Oukitel has a P60 Helio MediaTek Helio P60 MT6771 octa-core. They're both octa-core performers. And when it comes to the graphics, it's a ARM Mali G72 MP3700 MPHZ, which is the megahertz. But overall, guys, you're gonna get some smooth performance on this phone as well. Everything is gonna be really smooth. Not gonna really be, you know, like complaining when it comes to the performance of this device. So I could definitely recommend, you know, the Oukitel, you know, for gaming. It's going to be a really solid device. Like I said, you're going to get 4 gigabytes of RAM on here, 64 gigabytes of internal storage of ROM. And overall, you're going to be able to play heavy games, light games, you know, things of that nature. But you won't be complaining in any way possible because the price is going to be really affordable. And also the performance is going to be really good. Now, the cameras aren't going to be the best in the world, and neither are the speakers, but the gameplay definitely makes up for that. So I could definitely say you're going to get some good performance on both smartphones. Now, the Redmi Note 9 Pro does have NFC, but the Oukitel doesn't. We have a gravity sensor on the Oukitel C21 Pro. On the Redmi, we have a gyroscope, compass, accelerometer, light sensor, proximity sensor, side-mounted fingerprint sensor as well. Just overall really good performance on this device. Let me see. Swipe up and that's how I unlock it. But you get the app tray on here. You get your apps on this device right here. You can see you get your Google feed as well. On the Oukitel, you can get the Google feed too. And you can see right here, there's no app tray stock. So just keep that in mind. You won't be able to get the app drawer for the Oukitel, but both have really good performance. Now, as far as the camera setups, a 64 megapixel on the Redmi and an 8 megapixel wide angle. And on the other camera is a 2 megapixel for portraits. We also do have a 5 megapixel for macro as well. And the front facing camera, like I said, is the 16 megapixel on here. So I definitely think that's going to be pretty snappy, pretty quick. Definitely going to be pretty good for, you know, gaming, things of that nature. But overall, it's going to be a really solid device for, you know, like the camera performance. You have so many different modes in the cameras here. You have pro mode for your video and photos, which is really cool. And then you have, you know, portrait, bokeh, 64 megapixel night camera, slow motion, panorama, time lapse, documents, and short video, as well as you could edit these features too and put the ones that you want down at the bottom. So those will show up now in the main features. Click that, and now you have all your options right there. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, as far as the Aukitel's camera setup, it's the 16 megapixel OmniVision OV16880, which is the pure cell camera, and it's a pretty good processing. Basically, the software in here is pretty good. It's snappy when you get to your different options here. It actually is pretty snappy when you're using it. A lot better than some of the other cameras when it comes to the optimization. You can see how quick everything is. I'm able to toggle really fast in here. We also do have a 2 megapixel as well, which is the Galaxy Core, and the third one is the macro camera lens inside of here as well. It's made by Galaxy Core as well, and they probably just the 2 megapixel is an unknown. I'm not sure what sensor is in that one, but on the front we do have a 20 megapixel sensor. But like I said, the snappiness of this camera is nice. It's gonna take photos really quickly, and the shutter speed is really fast. You can get to the gallery really quickly. So I really appreciate that about this camera. You could also, like I said, download a gallery, Game Zone on the Play Store. It's gonna work pretty nicely. You get your macro shots on here, which looks absolutely beautiful. You can see the videos come out nice when you're walking. They're pretty stable for the most part.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm using the rear-facing camera.
Now, the Redmi is going to support better audio type files like aptX, and it's going to give you better, you know, it's going to have SBC, you know, like if you have headphones and you want to pair them to your device, you're going to get that compatibility. We do have voice over LTE on both devices for Metro by T-Mobile and Cricket Wireless, but we do have voice over Wi-Fi for the Redmi Note 9 Pro. I believe we do have Wi-Fi calling on the Oukitel as well. You could just go to Wi-Fi calling here in settings if you want to find it, and it should be there. And then you can click that, and then it improves your Wi-Fi calls when you're on Wi-Fi calling and things of that nature. But you can do that, and you have that option. But the cameras are really beautiful on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. I would say not a lot better, but they're just gonna be, the cameras are so much more customizable. And I use this phone for content creation because it offers a really good amount of detail when you're taking photos, pictures, videos. I could definitely use this phone for content creation. Not so much the Oukitel. I mean, I like that device just for content consumption. So that's kind of the difference about the two devices. But you can see the photo quality on here is absolutely gorgeous when you're taking photos from it. All the photos look really beautiful. You're gonna get some really dreamy sunsets and things of that nature on this device. Also, the video quality is really nice on this device. You can see it's so stable when you're moving around and things like that. So that's about it when it comes to that, but the performance is going to be pretty similar. So let's do a Geekbench test and see which one has higher scores. And I hate when they do that, when they go into the landscape mode. Let's see right here, history. And then let me click history on this one, and let's compare those two. Wow, so closer than I actually thought, but yeah, really good scores here. You can't complain with either one. Android 10 on both devices, octa-core processing chips, 6 GB of RAM, 4 GB on this one. Let me know down below what you guys think about these two devices. I'm gonna do a quick speed test just to see which one opens and closes apps quicker. So let's do Facebook real quick. 1, 2, 3. And that was really close. Let me increase the brightness on this one. Okay, it's all the way up. Let's do AliExpress. 1, 2, 3. That was close, but it looked like the Redmi. Let's do Twitter. 1, 2, 3. That was the Redmi. The Redmi loaded up a little bit quicker. Let's do SoundCloud if I have that on board. Or we could try the Play Store. Let's do the Play Store. One, two, three. That was dead even. Let's try Instagram on both of these devices. Here it is. 1, 2, and 3. Let me go ahead and like that photo. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap it up, but let me know which one you think that is overall better. The Oukitel is extremely bright. It just has really good punchy colors to it. You'll really enjoy the display for content consumption. As far as the Redmi Note 9 Pro, I feel like it's a content creation device. But let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll check you guys later. I'll get right back with you. Peace.